In majestic Madrid, just a handful of players are left chasing the coveted title and €1.5 million first prize. One man who knows the sweet taste of victory is overzealous Parisian Lucien Cohen.
Yeah! Yeah!
Can the reigning Deauville champion repeat?
Yeah!
Whilst an EPT trophy for Alex Gomez would secure him what only two others have achieved, the Triple Crown.
I already won a World Series and a WPT, so I'm planning to do it, and I'm gonna do it for sure.
Who wants it more at the PokerStars.com EPT Grand Final? Madrid is known as much for its nightlife as its architecture, but as we get deeper into the money here at the Grand Final, the remaining players will be wanting to save the party till later. Yes, here at the crowning event of Season 7, there is serious cash up for grabs. The 686-strong field created a prize pool of more than €6.8 million, and a first prize fit for a king. €1.5 million will go to our eventual winner. Now we're halfway through day 3, just 47 remain, and this is one tough field. Homeboy Juan Maciles would love to take it down on Spanish soil.
We are in the Grand Final, you know, it's the most important tournament in the whole of Europe. I mean, winning this will mean a lot for me.
While the big guns are visiting from the States, hoping to conquer Europe, Reynolds, Katchalov and Forrest all have the pedigree, but can they last the distance?
I mean, I'd be thrilled to death to win this.
Previous EPT champs Ben Wilanovsky and Lucien Cohen are the last two still in with a shot at being the first ever double title winners. And the vocal Parisian headlines over at the feature table. Despite only bursting onto the circuit this season, he already has quite a reputation. Will his ratty antics bag him another title? Seated to his left is Alex Gomez. The softly spoken Brazilian is a maestro at the table and wants nothing more than an EPT title to complete his Triple Crown.
That's my goal, winning the EPT Grand Final here in Madrid for the first time.
Surviving day 3 is the name of the game. 47 must become 24, so let's get straight to the action with your commentators, James Hartigan and Joe Stapleton.
There are 8 players sat around our feature table, including an EPT champion, the man who took down Deauville this season, Lucien Cohen.
Alexander Gomez is going for the Triple Crown. I'm sure he's also a little interested in the €1.5 million.
And this young Norwegian was the one-time tournament chip leader, Ole Christian Nergard. Also at the feature table are players from Lebanon, Belgium and the USA. We've got several big stacks on the TV stage, including Hugo Lemaire and João Studart. Blinds are currently 5,000 and 10,000 with a 1,000 ante. Let's get cards in the air. Action will be on Lucien Cohen and his plastic rat.
So James, I haven't been around all season. I was doing American stuff. Can you please explain the rat to me? Is it because of the French's affinity for cheese?
Oh, you're such a cliche monger. No, it's because he owns a pest control company. It's his company mascot.
Story checks out.
It's been folded to Nergard in the hijack seat. He's going to raise it up to 24,000 with ace-6 of hearts. George Yazbek has called on the button with 7s. Sharia Sultani has queen 10 in the small blind. He'll muck.
Disciplined fold.
And João Studart with 5-3 off in the big blind will also fold. So heads up to the flop.
I think Nergard looks a little like Eddie Furlong from Terminator 2.
4-4-7, a full house for Yazbek. Nergard already drawing dead.
Hasta la vista, babyface. Will be a bad time for a continuation bet.
Whoops, 29,000.
Keep it together, keep it together. No real reason for a raise here. Best to just call and hope your opponent fires again.
He does just call.
Gotta wonder if that flop call is just gonna shut Nergard down.
Queen of spades on the turn changes nothing for Nørgaard.
And he does not appear to be slowing down.
He is counting out chips to fire again. He will bet 63,000.
He's fired another 63K into the abyss. No draws developed on the turn, so again, I like a smooth call here.
Once again, Yazbek just makes the call. 9 of spades on the river.
Maybe now Nørgaard will think twice about firing that third barrel.
He checks it. One presumes he's given up.
Time for Yazbek to set sail for the Value Islands, though I'm thinking he may find they're deserted.
115,000.
Whoa, Nørgaard reaching for chips. Maybe he thinks Yazbek floated him on 2 streets with worse than ace high?
I'm sorry, Yazbek does not strike me as the kind of player who is betting that river with a hand worse than ace-6.
He really doesn't. Lots of draws missed, but they also made pairs too.
He makes the call!
Leave it to a John Connor lookalike to make a hero call.
Hero call gone wrong. Yazbek shows the full house.
And the Value Islands are gorgeous this time of year.
That's going to look stupid on TV.
You said it.
Ace high or king high? Ace high.
Hopefully he'll be able to warn himself from the future not to make that call.
Let's head to our outer tables, where 3 players are going to the flop. Dag Pavlovic with aces, Joseph Bakar with ace-9, and Leo Fernandez with queen-9.
Ace is obviously the huge favorite.
The flop is 9 high, could spell trouble for Fernandez and Bakar.
Pavlovic still ahead with 2 aces.
Bakar's made it 20,000. Fernandez moves all in. Pavlovic reshoves. And Bakar gets out of the way.
Come on, one time I wanted to do
Pavlovic invoking his one time when he sees Fernandez has outs.
Fernandez needs a queen or the case-9.
Okay, now keep it 1 out. Okay.
Fernandez can only survive if the 9 of clubs is dealt on the river. It's the 3 of clubs. And so this pro-on-pro battle sees the end of Leo Fernandez. He's our 45th place finisher.
200 on here. Wow. And you know what was crazy? I told to Leo 1 hour ago that yesterday I limped the aces from under the gun and I took it. And so that's why he asked me against the aces, you know.
Cool story, bro.
Leo will collect 25,000 euros from the cage. Ben Wilanovsky's involved in a hand against Eugene Unite. Eugene's bet 110,000 on the turn with his straight. Wilanovsky will call with top pair.
Someone's finally made a hand against Wilanovsky. Will his aggression finally be his undoing?
And he checks the river dark. It's the inconsequential 3 of spades.
Spade on the river might be a bit of a scare card for Wilanovsky.
Eugene Unite will move all in for his last 183,000.
Unite doesn't even have enough behind to make a full pot-size bet. Ben may have some history with the Unite, but even considering pot odds, this would be a pretty thin call with just 1 pair.
He's giving it serious thought. And he makes the call.
Shows the straight.
Straight is a strong hand.
And it beats 1 pair.
180 what?
That was a big pot for Ben Wilanovsky to lose.
Yes, but let's look at the positive side. A huge pot for Unite to win. Look at that. 2, 3 pushes.
Ben Wilanovsky was one of the chip leaders at the start of the day, and he's now down to 116,000.
Less than 12 big blinds. I'm sure we'll be seeing him all in again very soon.
For the time being, we'll return to our feature table, where the action is on Andrew Lee. 9 deuce offsuit. He'll fold that under the gun. Pocket 4s for Ole Christian Nørgaard.
What kind of mouth tells are these guys hiding? Do you think it's so bad someone can see it and tell he has 2 4s?
Raises to 24,000. His nemesis, George Yazbek, has King 10 of spades.
Suited Broadway cards, he's in.
He calls in position. Soltani gets out the way. Studart on the button. Will also fold. Lucien Cohen's in the small blind. He has 6-8 off. He'll pass. Alex Gomez in the big blind has Queen 3 off.
I'd be really surprised to see Gomez call out of position with this hand. He's likely hatching up a good old-fashioned 3-bet scheme.
A squeeze. Blue chips are worth 10,000 each. The yellows are 5,000. And the reds are 1,000. So that is a total bet of 73,000.
See, Nørgaard, you didn't do that good of a job covering up your mouth. Nørgaard's got plenty of chips if he wanted to take a flop. This isn't a huge 3-bet, but chances are he'd be facing a pretty big c-bet, and he's likely to hate most flops.
So Nørgaard folds, and Yazbek will give up his King 10. Great timing from Gomez, the perfectly executed squeeze play.
Must be nice, Alexander. Must be nice.
Gomez is one of the chip leaders at the moment, currently 8th in chips. But up at the top are two players on over $1 million. Simon Higgins from the UK with 1.17 million and Torsten Brinkmann from Germany with 1.25 million. Well, we didn't think it would be long before we saw Ben Wilanowski shove his remaining stack across the line. He's all in with ace-9 and he's run into the ace-10 of Gerardo Godinez.
He's chipped up a bit since we last saw him, but he's at risk for all of his chips right now, and he is dominated.
Who does math?
He needs a spade or a 9.
He's picked up a ton of outs on the turn.
But it's the Queen of Clubs on the river, so Wilanowski is eliminated.
He can't backdoor the flush, so he'll be headed out the front.
No second EPT title for Wilanowski, but he has secured his second ever live tournament cash.
Welcome back to Magical Madrid for the PokerStars.com EPT Grand Final. We've just witnessed the shock exit of Berlin champ Ben Wilanowski, meaning he won't be the first player ever to bag 2 EPT titles. As we rejoin the action, his good friend Melanie Wisner, the last lady standing, is all in and hoping she isn't about to join him on the rail.
Wisner's racing. She has ace-king. Ivan Freites has pocket 8s.
Please, give me king. King, ace, king, the flop.
Sounds like Freites is actually rooting for Melanie Wisner, but I've seen this act before. It's an attempt to trick the poker gods.
The flop is 9-10 jack.
Wisner picks up more outs.
I need a queen.
Huh? What a sweat.
No.
Queen, king, or ace?
Freites is still trying to trick the poker gods. This should be illegal.
King, queen, or ace?
That's what she needs. Melanie Wisner drawing to 10 outs.
I can surrender.
Easy to say when the option's not available. And after being on the leaderboard for 3 days, it comes down to the flip of a coin.
An ace, a king, or a queen. That's what she needs, but it's a 9.
Sorry.
So Ivan Freites' 8s hold. He wins a huge pot and moves over the $1 million chip mark. We lose Melanie Wisner, but at least she can say that she lasted longer than her good friend, Ben Wilanowski. And he's currently chatting to Michelle Orr.
Well, Ben, it's shaped up to be a fantastic season for you with a win and now a cash, and hopefully you'll do even better next year.
I hope so too. I'll see you, I guess, in August in Tallinn, and we'll make something good happen.
Oh no, we've got a hug going on here. What's happened,
Oh.
Melanie?
I am out as well.
You play so bad.
I know, so bad. Incidentally, in 42nd, and Ben was 43rd.
Oh, so you're both out together?
Isn't that sweet?
Let's go drink.
Yeah, seriously.
The European Poker Tour would like to remind everyone to please drink responsibly.
So 41 players remain from the 686 who started. We're playing down to 24 today, and Lucien Cohen is the last man in the field who could potentially win a second EPT title. Action at the feature table's been folded to Andrew Lee on the button. He also passes. Ole Christian Nørgaard has 10s in the small blind.
Nørgaard, more like mouth guard.
He is unsurprisingly raising with that hand, makes it 25,000. Hugo Lemaire has ace-4 suited and will defend his big blind.
Lemaire knows Nørgaard could be raising a pretty wide range. As it stands, Nergaard's a pretty big favorite.
Look at that flop, a set of 10s for Nergaard, the nut flush draw for Lemaire.
Now I can see why he covers his mouth. He's probably drooling at that flop. Yeah, get a good look at that 10. Pretty, isn't it?
Here comes the continuation bet, 23,000.
This is a pretty small bet, just a third of the pot. I think Nergaard's trying to get Lemaire to stick around and peel one off. With the nut flush draw, he probably could have gone much bigger.
He calls, and we go to the turn, and that gives Lemaire a straight draw to go with his flush draw.
This is a pretty good card for Nergaard because nothing got there and lots of hands just picked up more draws, including Lemaire, so he should really want to build a pot here.
So he bets a second time, and that bet is 64,000.
And again, this should be a very easy call for Lemaire, especially now that he picked up outs. Looks like he might be considering a semi-bluff raise, which would be, at best, ill-timed.
It's not a raise, it's a call. Lemaire looking for a spade or a 3 on the river. Instead, it's an ace. That's a horrible card for him to hit.
Very bad card for Lemaire, and it improves his hand just enough to maybe get him to pay off a value bet. It's a great card for 2 10s.
Nergaard makes it 126,000 on the river.
This is a polarizing pot-sized bet, and a pair of aces is just the kind of hand that can sometimes justify making a call like this.
And Lemaire does make the call and pays off Nergaard's set.
This board really couldn't have run out any better for Nergaard.
He wins a pot of 484,000. He's back in the big stack club. We first saw Ole Christian Nergaard on the EPT at last year's Grand Final when he bought into the high roller event on his 18th birthday. He was too young by a matter of days to play the main event.
I heard at his birthday party he even had a bouncy castle.
He currently has the table chip lead with a stack of 902,000. Blind still 5 and 10. An action on Andrew Lee here with Jack 5 off. He's folded. Nergaard with Queen 6. Wall muck. Hugo Lemaire has Queen 10 suited, and he's raising to 23,000. Folded around to Lucien Cohen, who's picked up aces in the small blind.
Usually a spot for a 3-bet.
Call. He decides to call. Now, the last time there was a raise and a call when Alex Gomez was in the big blind, he squeezed.
He wisely folds this time. For Cohen, not 3-betting out of the small blind with aces is a good way to be deceptive and balance your range.
And what a flop for him. Top set. Gut shot straight draw for Lemaire.
Lemaire up against a set yet again.
Cohen's check to him.
Giving Lemaire the opportunity to bet at this, but as you can see, it's a pretty dangerous board for 2 aces.
31,000 Lemaire's made it.
Raise.
A check raise from Cohen.
The board's pretty wet with a multitude of bad cards that can hit the turn.
How much is the Deauville champion going to make it? 65,000.
The old almost min raise move. Oh no, here comes the rat. Lemaire was up against a set just a few hands ago and lost a solid chunk. This is pretty unfortunate. At least this time he doesn't have much of a hand.
He lets it go, and Cohen wins a pot of 159,000.
Lucien Cohen doesn't get much value. Rats.
Yes, I think we should ask him to explain what that rubber toy is all about.
Le rat, c'est... Donnez le volet d'ailleurs. Je vais le prendre avec moi parce qu'on m'a demandé. C'est Lucky déjà. Et c'est l'emblème de la société où je travaille, quoi. C'est ma chance, quoi. C'est mon porte-bonheur. On va gagner Madrid, peut-être, non? Hein? Je crois qu'il y en a qui aiment, il y en a qui n'aiment pas. C'est partagé. Parce que je l'utilise aussi pour exciter un peu mes adversaires par moment. Esquive, allez. C'est un peu une technique, bon, c'est histoire d'énerver un peu de temps en temps. Je m'amuse avec. Chacun ses atouts, quoi. En France, il y a une polémique un peu sur moi parce que je suis quelqu'un de très exubérant. Un footballeur, quand il marque un but, il est expressif, il montre sa joie.
No, that was really rude.
Ben moi, c'est comme un footballeur. Quand je marque, j'arrive à gagner un coup, je montre ma joie. Je suis expressif, je ne fais pas exprès, je suis méditerranéen. Mais je ne manque pas de respect aux autres joueurs. Je ne veux pas manquer respect. C'est plus fort que moi. Il faudrait que je travaille un petit peu sur ça pour être un peu moins expressif.
Excuse me, I am very happy.
C'est un vrai sport, c'est quelque chose de magique. Le côté challenge, on aime. Je sais pas, moi en tout cas, j'adore ça. Ça qui m'a fait vraiment aimer Texas Hold'em. Et voilà, c'est ce côté compétition. Et je vous dis la vérité, c'est une vraie passion pour moi. J'aime ça, j'aime le poker, j'aime ça.
Maman chérie.
J'adore.
Kind of hard to hate on the guy when you see how passionate he is about poker and rats. Though he has been a little quiet today after being warned by the tournament director earlier.
We have a three-way all-in on one of our outer tables. Juan Maceras has the best hand, Queen 10. Michael Friedrich's all-in with Queen 9. And Joseph Bakar is all-in with Jack 8. So Juan Maceras has got two short stacks at risk here.
Friedrich is dominated. Bakar is drawing live.
A flop King, King 7. Queen 10 still leads.
Though with that paired board, a chop becomes more likely.
3 on the turn.
Queen 10 high, still somehow the best hand.
Yep. And the river. It's a brick.
Wow, sick hold.
Maceras takes out Michael Friedrich and Joseph Bakar. And the Spanish pro is firmly amongst the tournament chip leaders. Well, we could be about to lose Ted Forrest. He's all in with ace deuce. He's been called by Eric van den Berg with jacks.
Ted Forrest is not in good shape.
Now he's in really bad shape. Van den Berg flops a set.
And he looks like an undercover Justin Timberlake.
And he's got Ted Forrest drawing dead on the turn.
Ted's dead, baby. Ted's dead.
So the American pro finishes in 38th place here at the EPT Grand Final. He'll collect 30,000 euros.
Playing with you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Classy exit.
And William Reynolds, who's been sitting to Forrest right for most of the day, is still going strong.
If he busts out, does that mean I lose my job?
Yep.
Go Bill Jam.
Daniel Wyman all in with deuces. Up against Torsten Brinkman's ace-9.
Brinkman on the brink of eliminating Weinman. I think it's the extra N in his name that gives him the edge.
He needs a deuce on the river, but it's an ace. 2-pair for Brinkman. It'll send Weinman to the rail, and it'll see Brinkman consolidate his chip lead. He now has a stack of 1.6 million. There are 4 players right now with more than $1 million in chips. Also up there in the top 10, Ole Christian Nørgaard, Juan Maceras, and Alex Gomez, still chasing his first EPT title and that coveted Triple Crown. Back at the feature table, actions on Lucien Cohen. He's looking to win his second EPT title here in Madrid. He's raising an early position with 9-6 suited.
Boy, that's pretty loose. Pretty loose.
315. 3.5.
350.
Cohen's got 360K behind, 36 big blinds, which makes his raise even more outrageous.
Whoa! Actions on Gomez, but Nørgaard's raised.
Not only is that out of turn, but it's really out of turn. He wasn't even next to act.
What happens now?
If you call, chips also have to stay. It's only if you raise.
So if I call, he must raise.
He must raise, yeah.
He must.
Can I ask how much the raise? I'm just asking.
So Gomez knows if he calls, Nørgaard has to raise, and that'll get more money in the pot.
Pretty slick move.
I need some food.
Oh, the poor kid's hungry.
Well, his compulsory 3-bet is to 55,000. Hugo Lemaire's woken up and has folded. As does George Yazbek. So actions on Sharia Sultani. Oh no, no, it's Cohen acting out of turn.
What is going on here? Sultani's actually got a decision to make.
You're going to raise, sir?
I'm Steve, probably. Keep your chips.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to fold a huge answer.
He lays down the 10s, disciplined pass. Cohen can now fold.
I'm all in.
Alex Gomez shoves.
Of course.
Really smart play all around by Gomez.
I have this huge hand. I can imagine. This table is so big. You need like a telescope to see it to the other side.
Tough to see the other side of the table when you're sitting on 3 phone books.
Good call.
Show one card.
I'm sorry.
No?
I'll tell you the end of the day.
I had the real hand, you know?
But it wasn't as good as Gomez's, and after winning that pot, he's now chipped up to nearly 800,000. Welcome back to the European Poker Tour Grand Final. We are going to adopt the role of Lucien Cohen's rat. We're going to share in the experience of seeing only the Deauville champions' hole cards.
Just to play the part, I will be snacking on a piece of cheese.
Action on George Yazbek, he's folded. Shiria Soltani gets out of the way. Andrei Danilyuk, new player at our feature table. He's under the gun +2. And looks like he's counting out chips for a raise. Blinds 6,000, 12,000. He makes it 27K. So Queen Jack is the hand for Lucien Cohen.
Big suited connectors, Broadway cards. Totally fine with seeing a flop with this.
He's in position. Alex Gomez and Andrew Lee have both folded. Nørgaard gives up the small blind. And Hugo Lemaire folds the big blind. So heads up to the flop. And that flop is 4-Jack-8. Top pair for Cohen.
Cohen's also got the advantage of position. I like his hand so far. See if Danilyuk continues.
He does for 32,000.
Pretty clear spot for a just call.
Those aren't calling chips, they're raising chips. Cohen makes it 102,000.
Not sure I love the raise of Danilyuk ships. What do you do?
And he does ship.
Oh boy. Cohen really should have never raised the flop unless he was planning on calling all in. His hand's too strong to fold on the flop, but not really strong enough to call an all in. When you're raising, you should either be doing it for value, in which case Cohen should call, or you're doing it as a bluff, in which case Cohen should fold. But top pair decent kicker is too strong of a hand to turn into a bluff. Cohen's been put to the test for his tournament life. If he folds, he'll only be left with 21 big blinds. Mathematically, this might be a call. Cohen might have the best hand, and if he doesn't, he's got a lot of backdoor outs, which is a bad spot to be in. That's why you don't raise that flop. If I'm Cohen at this point, I think I have to call.
You sure? All in?
Oh, he's sure.
Okay.
Cohen lets it go and shows that he folded a jack. Danilyuk had aces.
Cohen had about 25% equity there, so in the end, it was the right laydown. He may be regretting that raise on the flop, but then again, maybe it saved him money in the end.
Cohen now down to around 200,000 in chips.
Which is less than 20 big blinds.
So on to the next hand, which will see Alex Gomez under the gun, first to speak. And he will look down. 8-6 suited. He's capped his cards, looks like he wants to play.
This would be pretty loose under the gun, but he is the table chip leader.
Well, he raises to 28,000. Andrew Lee will fold, as will Nørgaard and Lemaire. I assume that Yazbek is folding as he's walked away from the table. So passed around to Lucien Cohen in the big blind with 9-10 of spades.
Cohen's out of position, and as we mentioned, he's short stacked. He really shouldn't be playing in spots like this, especially if he's going to just call.
And he does just call. Well, he's a 2-1 favorite going to the flop. And he still has the statistical advantage, even though Gomez has paired his 6. With 2 overcards and a flush draw, this could be a good flop for Cohen to get his chips in.
Absolutely. Gomez is checking out Cohen's stack, or maybe he just wants to see if he can get a tell off the rat. As mentioned, Gomez has top pair, and he had the pre-flop betting lead, so my guess is he'll want to continue.
He does. Are we going to get a check raise all in from Lucien Cohen?
Cool.
No, he's just calling again.
I think Cohen missed an opportunity there. 2 overs and a flush draw usually equates to massive equity. He even had a bit of fold equity with the remainder of his stack.
2 of diamonds on the turn.
Cohen misses.
Gomez is now the 2-to-1 favorite. Cohen checks again, and Gomez bets enough to put him all in.
And Lucien Cohen has once again been shoved on. With only 1 card to come, now would be a bad time to get it in. Also, when you've been put all in, you have 0 fold equity.
Thanks for that one. Cohen folds. More chips for the table chip leader. Alex Gomez wins another pot.
I can't give all the credit to Cohen for not check raising the flop. Gomez played this hand pretty perfectly.
In fact, he hasn't put a foot wrong all day.
My name is Alexander Gomez. I live in Curitiba, South Brazil. The, let's say, American poker scene now, it's way different when I started playing poker. I think that all the media, they're like treating poker as a serious thing. So this is really good. We are really motivated to do a lot of things in Brazil. The fact that we are the face of the poker in Brazil, for me, it's really good. It's a privilege. Like everybody, when I'm at the airport or some special place, shopping center, somebody came, oh, Alex, can I take a picture? It's really important for me. Yeah, last year was a good tournament. It was, I think, was one of the best tournaments I had in Europe. I was pretty deep. I was playing my A game, as I can say, and I got a kind of a cooler with 33 players left at Monte Carlo. And this year, I have a decent stack for day 3, so I hope I can make it maybe day 4 first time. I already won a World Series and a WPT, and if I win the EPT, I will have a Triple Crown. That's my goal for sure, for this year, for next year, for the other year. So I'm planning to do it, and I'm gonna do it for sure.
If Alexander wins this event, not only would he be the 3rd ever Triple Crown winner, but he'd be the first one to do it who doesn't have an animal in his name.
We've got out-of-table action here. Vasily Fursov is all in with queens, called by Eugene Kachalov with ace-king.
Ace-king versus queens is the sickest of all races.
So far, so good for Fursov. Kachalov needs to catch an ace or a king on the river. It's a double up for Fursov.
And it's been a very rocky up and down tournament for Eugene Kachalov.
Right now, his stack is looking a little on the short side. At the next table, William Reynolds is facing a 61K 4-bet from Fatima de Melo's boyfriend, Raymond Sluter.
I can't imagine William would just call it maybe time for a bill jam.
A shove and a call. It's the same race, queens against ace-king.
Sick.
This is my first flip of the tournament. One, mine as well. Can you do a commentary on this one? I'm going to let James handle this one on the broadcast. I'm not getting paid to commentate right now.
Well, I do it for the love of the game, William.
What about me? This is awkward.
The hand played itself. I think so. That's all I got.
Now's your chance, Dave. Say something smart. The hand played itself.
Sluter is the player at risk, but he has the advantage right now. And that's a great flop for his queens.
No help for Bill Jam on the turn, looking for an ace or king only.
The river. Here's another queen for Sluter.
Yeah, let's count them.
William Reynolds about to see what the final damage is.
1, 2, 3, 390.
He's going to be left with about 14,000 in change.
Which is fewer than 2 big blinds.
Well, it's not a million chips, but could still come back.
Does he mean in the tournament or to the booth? Because I've got a non-refundable hotel room. I think he should just see a few flops. No reason to be in panic mode just yet.
Well, let's not underestimate the size of that pot. That was a huge coup, and it catapults Raymond Sluter into 2nd place on the leaderboard. Torsten Brinkmann still with a chip lead with 1.65 million. Also up there in the top 10, Alex Gomez, who has the chip lead at our feature table. Meanwhile, Ole Christian Nergard has been moved out into the field as we balance the remaining tables in the tournament.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't because it's past his bedtime?
Action's on Andrew Lee. Who's got kings?
We haven't seen much of Andrew Lee, and boy, is he deliberate. Way to make up for the lost screen time, buddy.
He is going to raise to 26,000. Action quickly folded around the table.
There's one king out.
Just Alex Gomez in the big blind. And he's got jacks again.
Andrew Lee's pretty short. A shove might be tempting.
232.
Just volunteering a stack size.
All in.
Gomez does shove.
Call.
And Lee calls.
Aces?
Not aces, but just as bad.
Okay, Alex.
Gomez a 4-1 underdog. But Lee is the player at risk, needs those kings to hold.
You shouldn't say it. Doesn't matter. You shouldn't say the word never. When I'm online, I'm playing, and you say it? It doesn't matter. No, whatever I say.
If it doesn't matter, then why say it?
Well, the flop does not have a jack on it.
Andrew Lee has not brought the jack onto himself just yet.
Flower. The jack of flowers.
Jack of flowers or jack of shovels.
If it doesn't come on the flop, it doesn't count. Yeah, I believe that. You do? Yeah. Not in this case. Pretty sure it's coming. Oh.
Gomez thinks he's going to hit one of his 2 outs, but he doesn't. So Andrew Lee will double up.
Push those chips in and count them up.
It's 2-something.
Kind of a cold deck to run into a short stack with 2 kings.
Lee no longer the short stack, now sitting on 477,000. Gomez with 600K. Well, one super short stack is William Reynolds.
Playable.
And he's moved all in blind with Jack 10 against Pedro Javier's King Queen, and Javier's paired his king on the flop.
Gonna be pretty tough to get past that.
That's all she wrote.
Reynolds drawing dead on the turn.
Nice playing with all you guys. I tried to do my best. Back to the commentary booth.
No!
We're inching ever closer to that final table and the first prize worth 1.5 million euros.
Would you like to play in an EPT event? If you're already a registered PokerStars.com player, you're all set. But if not, get online and download the free game software at PokerStars.com and you could win a seat to the next EPT event from the comfort of your own home.
Welcome back to the Casino Grand Madrid, where day 3 of the PokerStars.com EPT Grand Final is drawing to a close.
34 players remain. 10 more to lose before we're done for the day. Blind still 6 and 12, and action on our feature table. Folded around to Lucien Cohen. He's now the table short stack. He's not interested. Nor is Alex Gomez. Andrew Lee's on the button. 8-9 off suit. He'll pass. Hugo Lemaire has picked up aces in the small blind.
2 aces, small to big, brutal.
And King-Queen suited for George Yazbek.
This is certainly a cold deck between the 2 blinds. Yazbek could be considering a 3-bet.
Lemaire's made it 26,000, and Yazbek makes the call. He'll play the flop in position.
Yazbek is a 4-1 dog. Catching a pair would be very bad for him.
And Yazbek is all over that flop.
He doesn't catch a pair, he catches trips. Yahtzee. Poor Hugo Lemaire isn't going to know what hit him. Here comes the C-bet.
25,000.
Most hands will get chased off from a raise on a dry board like this, so smooth calling's definitely the play there, even though Lemaire would have likely called.
The turn is the Jack of Hearts.
The board is starting to look worse for 2 aces. All kinds of draws out there now.
Lemaire decides to check.
Hugo somehow had the foresight to slow down.
Yazbek making a bet of 63,000.
Maybe Lemaire will be able to get away from this, but with the Queen Jack of Hearts out there, he might think Yazbek could be semi-bluffing pretty often in this spot. And that was a pretty small bet.
He makes the call.
Hugo's dead to only an ace, and my guess is he doesn't know it.
The river is a 5, giving Yazbek a full house.
All of the draws missed, but maybe Lemaire will have to consider Yazbek was playing bottom pair that way and just got there.
Lemaire has checked a second time, and there is a bet of 150,000 from Yazbek.
Lemaire's getting better than 2-1. Most of the time, he will have the best hand in this spot, but you have to wonder how often Yazbek will bomb this river without a full house.
Approximately 0 out of 100. Lemaire makes the call, and Yazbek shows him queen's full.
Pretty tough to get away from those rockets. Sometimes you make the call just not believing that you could possibly be beat.
Lemaire down to around 170,000. Yazbek moves over $1 million in chips.
Makes him the table chip leader and puts him on the top 10 for the entire tournament. It's fitting when you crack aces.
On to the next hand. Gomez under the gun. 4-5.
Suited. Alexander's second in chips in this table, so he's got the skill and the chips to mess around with a hand like this if he wants, especially if he thinks the rest of the table's playing tight.
He's raised it to 26,000. He's found a customer in George Yazbek, who's called from the cutoff with King Queen.
He's run into the table boss, who's got his lucky ace-cracking hand.
Sultani has folded. Danilyuk has passed. Lucian Cohen is playing just over 10 big blinds.
And he calls out of position. Not really the spot to do this. It's fold shove time, Lucian.
It's a three-way to the flop, which is 7, 7, 8. Flush draws, straight flush draws for both Gomez and Cohen. And Cohen has shoved. He's all in for his last 101,000.
He just might get some action from Gomez, who likely thinks his flush draw is live.
He reshoves. Yazbek will fold. And Cohen's in pretty good shape here to double up.
He's all in. You can turn your cards over, Lucian. Get your rat ready. Let's go. Gomez isn't going to like what he sees. There's the bad news. However, his pair and straight draws are still live. Cohen's a better than 3-1 favorite, but the rat has yet to make an appearance.
I think someone needs to tell Lucian Cohen that he's a 73% favorite. He looks a little bit stressed.
Well, he's only got to dodge one more card now.
Allez, mon frère. King. No 8, no 8.
8 would be a chop.
It is an 8.
Yeah. Split. Split pot. 8 and 7.
Yeah, that's pretty
better than a loss.
8, 8. 8, 8. Zabur. Zabur, 8, 8.
No one loses. No one loses.
No problem.
They're friends. They're friends, man.
No, my friend. No, my friend.
But no one lost. That's good, right?
What a sweet boy. He has no shot. Lucian Cohen got fairly unlucky there. I'd expect to see that rat back out here. Too sweet.
Let's head to the outer tables where Ola Christian Nørgaard is playing a huge pot against Eugene Unite. There's 692,000 in the middle. And Nørgaard shoves the river with just a pair of queens.
Unite's hand isn't the nuts, but I don't see how he could possibly fold with all that money out there.
He calls and wins a massive pot, nearly 2.4 million. That'll see him take the tournament chip lead, and it will see Nørgaard crippled. Down to just 125,000.
And there go all Nørgaard's chips. Ship them overnight to Unite.
Nørgaard starts the day as tournament chip leader. He's now playing a 10 big blind stack.
And Eugene Unite's going to need another table just to keep all his chips on it.
More outer table action. Philippe Boucher is shoved with 4s, called by Juan Maceras with kings.
Boucher is behind and at risk.
Just a 20% chance of surviving. Less now. That is not the flop he was looking for.
Boucher doesn't even flop a draw. 2 kings doing very well. Boucher could hit runner chop, I guess.
When he picks up a flush draw on the turn.
Hey, look at that. Backdoor spades now a possibility.
Why do you always want to make it that funny?
TV? Because it's early.
11 outs.
Okay, take pair the board.
I'll take this down spade. That's all right.
Bet you would, but it's the 8 of diamonds, so Philippe Boucher is eliminated.
You know, if Dennis would come,
Juan Maceras now with 1.34 million. Well, let's return to our feature table where the table chip leader George Yazbek is under the gun. He'll fold. Jack 8 for Shirai Sultani. He passes. Andrei Danilyuk has King 7. He mucks. Lucien Cohen moves all in with ace-queen from the cutoff.
Finally, I'm surprised he didn't limp or make a min-raise.
Gomez folds for actions on Andrew Lee.
He wants a count.
My friend, go.
I just want to know. I might fold.
No fold you to pay.
The rat is out.
My friend.
Andrew Lee considering making this call with a suited ace, but he is dominated.
My friend.
All in.
He reshoves. Lemaire folds the big blind.
And Cohen's got his hand on the rat.
Are you? All in. You?
Do we show?
Yes, you do. Cohen set for a double up.
Allez. Allez, bébé.
I don't mind the rat, but he doesn't have to be so tender with it. Andrew Lee should pull out a hamster and make him jealous.
The flop is 9-8 king.
He's queen ahead so far.
He's calling for a queen. He doesn't actually need it.
Easy. Oh. Ace.
7.
Ace. Oh, arrête d'appeler les cartes. C'est pas possible. Arrête d'appeler les cartes. Ace. Queen.
Well, that 5 on the turn gives Lee a straight draw.
Queen.
6.
No. 10. No. Wait, 10.
Figure out what cards you want, brah.
10. Ace. Allez, ace. Ace.
The river.
Ace.
It's a 6, it's a straight for Lee.
Rats.
Lucien Cohen is eliminated in 33rd place.
Thank you very much. Bye. 6. Est-ce qu'ils sont noirs?
And somehow his fake rat has died.
Andrew Lee is now sitting on a stack of 678,000. And now that the Deauville champion has busted, we know for sure there will be no two-time EPT winner this season. Looks like we're going to lose Eugene Kachalov. He's drawing incredibly thin, all in on that flop.
He's got outs.
Not anymore. So Eugene Kachalov will exit the tournament at the hands of Torsten Brinkmann.
And his roller coaster of a day has finally come to an end.
A respectable finish for the PCA Super High Roller champion here at the EPT Grand Final. Well, shortly after Kachalov, a flurry of eliminations signaled the end of day 3. And this is how the top 10 stack up. Eugene Unite will take the chip lead into day 4. Also in the top 5, Torsten Brinkmann, Simon Higgins, Juan Maceras, and Ivan Freites.
Juan Maceras has made deep runs before.
I got a good round. I made 2 final tables.
Alex Gomez needs this title to cement his place in poker history.
If I win the EPT, we'll have a triple crown.
And the young poker lions are all desperate to become king of the pack. Who will make the final 8?